Hello everyone, this is Eli G. Brown / Eli G. Brony, and welcome to another classic LEGO Bionicle review. And in this episode, we are looking at the Toa set of 2007. It's the Toa Mahri, the new forms of the Toa Inika after they dropped the Toa Inika into the sea, and they went into the sea to go after it, and then the Mask of Life transformed them into the water-breathing Toa Mahri. And, well, in this form, they unfortunately cannot breathe air anymore. Well, that is until the end of the 2007 storyline. And in this series, we pretty much have the debut of having Toa characters look very differently from one another. I mean, the Baraki had already featured this whole looking all different feature. But for the Toa Mahri, this is the first time that it has happened in a series of Toa. So, I'm going to be taking each of these, well, most of these guys out just for the moment, because I want to focus on one character at a time, and I'm going to try to be a bit speedy with this, because I do want to make this video pretty short, at least as short as I can. So anyway, starting off, we have Toa Mahri Jaller, and this set is unique because it features a little crab creature right here. The crab creature carries the Kodak launcher. I'll demonstrate how that works. You just push on the red lever here, and they fly out. Okay. Gonna get those back. Alright, here we go. So that is a new feature that the Toa Mahri have. It's quite unusual for us to get two different features or functions that the sets in 2007 had. With Wave 1, we got the squid launchers, but in Wave 2, we got the Kodak launchers. As far as I know, there are springs inside of the Kodak launcher, so you really got to be careful not to expose that to water. As far as Jaller's appearance goes, he uses a Toa Inika main body piece, as well as this armor piece that goes over his torso. And that same piece is also used for the crab creature. Oh, gotta get the chain to go off. He uses the same feet that he did before, the Toa Inika feet, as well as the Toa Inika legs. And he still has the Toa Matoro leg pieces used for his arms. But now, instead of a translucent orange, he has a opaque orange. It's just the standard old orange. And there's also this armor piece, which I think was also with the Baraki sets. Not quite sure. I think it was, but I could be wrong about that. And he has tubing that goes, well, it connects from his front, and also connects to his back as well. Now, of course, this is something that all of the Toa Mahri have, but we do go back to using the Toa Matoro head pieces, the ones that were introduced with the Toa Matoro. Certainly good to see those back in action, since we got those rubbery masks that go over these plain green heads. That there were some people that did not like those, but I'm pretty sure that it was a relief to see the Toa Matoro headpieces coming back again. And for the sword, well, it's a new sword. Well, of course, they do feature brand new weapons mostly. But it is quite a fine-looking sword piece right there. Alright, so I'm going to get Jaller out, so we can then look at the next character on our list. The next one is Hewkii Mahri. Now, Hewkii is one of the shorter characters of the Toa Inika series. Just like with his prior version, he has some yellow on him, but now it's pretty much mostly yellow, considering the, well, we don't have, actually at all, any of the gunmetal pieces used on this version of Hewkii. Just mostly yellow, so it pretty much is his new primary color. Now a yellow Toa of stone. Doesn't look much like his old incarnation anymore. He has the Toa Inika feet pieces in black, I think that is a new color, which also makes this the only foot piece in the Toa Inika, Toa Mahri series to be used on 2 sets, while every other foot piece is unique, at least among the Toa themselves. Though we don't get any new foot pieces, but we do get some new recolors of foot pieces. Hewkii is built kind of a bit unusual considering how he has very long arms but very short legs. Uses the Toa Matoro leg pieces and a Toa Inika arm piece over here and a Paraka arm piece over here. He doesn't even have a hand over here. So he carries his Kodak launcher a bit like this. You may also notice that there is a crack in the connection point of the Kodak launcher piece. But it still fits on relatively well. And he has the extra ammunition on each of his shoulders, like over here and also over on this side as well. And he also has these new weapon pieces that are added to his right shoulder, but not on his left. We just have this. And his mask is also very unusual in that it doesn't attach the same way as the other masks do, pretty much attaching in a similar fashion to the Paraka. And then his actual mouthpiece has this piece attached to it, which is where his hose is attached to. He also carries this brand new staff piece, this new weapon piece that is used. And he uses a Keytorange colored Paraka body piece. So I think that's the first time that a Toa set, well, one of the 2 times, because another Toa in the series also uses a Paraka main body piece. So that is Toa Hewkii. Oh, and there's also these chains all over his body, which can sometimes kind of get in the way, because, you know, they can pretty much get tangled up. And he also features these unique knee armor pieces in silver that have these spikes on them. Alright, on to the next one. Next one we are looking over is Toa Hahli. Now, this version of Hahli is, well, different because we feature a color scheme that we have not seen in Bionicle before. She is dark green and has... Did I say dark green? I meant to say dark blue. Man, I just am getting my words wrong today. At least in this review, I don't believe that. But anyway, she is dark blue, not green, and she is lime green. Well, she has lime green joint pieces, which can be presented as a problem, but not, well, in my opinion, the lime joint pieces are a problem, but not in terms of appearance, but much rather in play value. Lime joint pieces break easily. So much so that I've had to get new ones off of Bricklink because the original ones broke. Yep, I have had that happen. It's been happening for the past couple of years. I've experienced it, and I certainly was surprised that the rest of the Bionicle community was having this issue also. So, Hahli here has the same feet pieces as she did in her prior form, except now they are entirely in dark blue, not marbled with the white like before, and the same goes for her leg pieces as well, being the same as the Toa Inika from the prior year, but now in a pure dark blue color. And she also has the Hewkii arm pieces as her... Well, not arm pieces, but they are the Hewkii leg pieces that are used for her arms, which were also used in her prior form. So, as far as her arms and legs goes, the only thing that's changed with them would be their color. But what has changed completely would be her main body piece. And she also has this, she has this translucent visor piece that is inside her mask, which is something that Nuparu and Matoro also have. It's actually kind of hard to get it out, at least it is with mine, considering that it's actually a bit, the axle joint is actually a bit chewed on the inside, so it's kind of hard to get the visor piece to come out. And her tubes are attached, just circling around, going through her back, and just circling around back. And I also really like the wings that she has here. So these wing pieces on her back, they really look very nice. Very nice for a Toa of water. Certainly a great addition to that. And this is her new weapon piece, which kind of looks like they are fingers. I think it's some sort of a claw piece. Now, I'm not quite sure, but I am wondering if this is supposed to be, like, actually part of her hand. I mean, I would personally assume that it was a weapon piece, but I just do not know that. It could actually be part of her arm. I just do not know. If it was up to me, I'd decide that it's just a weapon that she's carrying, but it's not up to me. It's up to Lego. Alright. Well, that's Toa Hahli. On to the next one. Next up, we have Toa Nuparu. And man, is he kind of, well, not quite sure what the word should be. Well, he's got the black Paraka feet, the webbed ones, which is quite interesting, considering how his legs can be made, they're thin-like. And he uses the Paraka arm pieces for both his arms as well as his legs, which makes these feet pieces work really nicely when you want to just move them up like that, which I think he has actually done in the storyline. Now, for a weapon, he has the usual Kodak launcher that I did have to improvise in order to keep it on there. And he has this shield piece right here. Now, I think that I did read up that Nuparu actually also has another weapon piece that was not released in the set, and I can't imagine why they wouldn't release a canon weapon piece in a Toa set. But I guess it could be because Nuparu already has his hands full anyway, although they could have just went the same way that they did with the Inika version of Nuparu and just have this blaster be attached to his back. But I guess they just decided not to do that this time, just have it be on his hand and drop the other weapon entirely. He has some new armor pieces added on his shoulders as well as on his knees. Same main torso pieces he did in the original version of Toa Nuparu, but the lower body part, where the legs attached to, is moved down just a couple inches lower to kind of make him be a bit different, making him slightly taller than his original version. And then the tubing just attaches to his back like that, with the Toa Matoro chest piece, as well as these translucent cylinder pieces. I really don't get what is up with that. Alright, well, that is Toa Nuparu. On to the next one. I've noticed that this video has already been running for almost 14 minutes now. And I said I wanted to keep it short. Well, I guess it's as short as it can get. Alright, so next we have Toa Kongu, who is also very short, like Hewkii, and he carries 2 Kodak blaster weapons. He does not have an additional weapon piece. In the storyline, he said that it was because he felt like having 2 of the Kodak blasters worked better than having 1, since he has 2 hands. 2 hands, 2 blasters. And I suppose that would work out. Though I guess it can be kind of dull not getting another weapon piece and having just 2 of these blasters included. Now, Kongu features a color scheme of dark green and gray, which is not a new color combination. We have seen it with both versions of Toa Matoro before. But, of course, that's not really anything special, considering that all of the Toa Matoro, as well as the Toa Hewkii, had the gray color as their secondary color scheme. Kongu, however, has the dark gray arms and the dark gray legs, which guess is not necessarily all that bad, although I guess some fans would complain that kind of adds too much grayness to him. But it looks fine, I suppose, I think. And Kongu also features the Rachi feet pieces in a dark green color, making him the only Toa to have these feet pieces. I think that he's the only Toa to have them. I think that this was even the last set to feature Rachi feet pieces in any form. And he also features a brand new torso piece, which uses 2 of the lower Toa Hewkii arm pieces to be attached to his back. And this main body piece would also be shown again with Toa Fantoka Pohatu in the following year. Kongu also debuts with having a shorter eye stalk piece that has an axle connection point connected to it. You may, if you've seen my Mari Torin review, you may remember that I mentioned that I put some of those eye stalk pieces in their heads too, even though the first ones to be released as sets did not even actually have those. But Toa Mahri Kongu debuts with having this that eye stalk piece, as well as this cylinder on the back of his head. And then there's the rubber hose that connects to, well, his mask. It goes through the back of his head, technically. Alright, well that is Toa Mahri Kongu. Now, we are going to come across the biggest hero of them all. The Toa that sacrificed his life to save the universe. It's Matoro. Good old Matoro. Do you all remember him? I certainly remember him. One of the original characters that we got in the first year. I mean, he was a Matoran back then, but he was still one of the first. Okay, well, let's now look over this guy. Matoro brings in the Toa, the original Toa feet pieces that came out in 2001. And he also has the Toa Inika leg pieces. And for his arms, he has one of the Toa Metru leg pieces for one arm, and a Toa Metru arm piece over on this side. And he also has the Toa Inika shoulder armor pieces used on his legs, oddly enough, but the Toa Inika knee armor on his shoulders, so they kind of switched it from the previous version. He also features these armor pieces that was also shown on Jaller, only they are in silver and not orange. And Matoro also has his head connected very differently, kind of making him like the new Onua, just making him hunchback. I think it would make more sense if they did that with Nuparu, but they didn't. So that is a new way to attach the mask, or head actually. As for the mask, well, I kind of find it a bit difficult to rotate his head from side to side, because, you know, the rubber hose is kind of getting a bit stuckish inside, you know, the holes right there. You know, just kind of making it very difficult to rotate his head around without having the mask pop out. Well, of course, if he's looking this way, it probably would not be a problem, but, you know, if you're just facing it over, well, if you face it, like, towards here, the mask just pops off. I really don't understand why that is happening. I don't know if that's actually a problem that the set itself has, or if it's just something my personal set has got. Matoro also features new weapon pieces used on one of his arms, kind of making it like a claw. And then he has the Kordak blaster, which they all have, by the way. Now, Matoro happens to be very unique among any Toa in that he happens to be a Toa that is wearing an immoral mask. A mask that Toa would usually choose not to wear. And that is the Kanoe Trina. I know I didn't mention the other masks, I just didn't feel any point in doing so. But in Matoro's case, he wears a mask that Toa would usually choose not to wear. And this mask allows him to reanimate the dead for a short period of time. I think that in the storyline, even Matoro himself wasn't even sure about the mask that he was chosen. I think that the reason why the mask, well, the Inika had chosen for Matoro to wear this mask was pretty much a test of his character, and probably revolving around the fact that Matoro would eventually have to sacrifice himself in order to save Matanui. So, good old Matoro, I'm sad to see you go. Well, I will still have your action figure, but you're just gone. You are gone. Alright, let me bring everyone back so I can give my closing thoughts regarding this series as a whole. I'm bringing in the two shorter characters first, and I'm having Matoro stand up in front because, well, I know that... Oh, come on! I know that Matoro was not the leader, Jaller was, but Matoro really worked out in being, like, one of the main focuses on the 2007 storyline. Pretty much making him, like, the star of the series. With all of the Toa Mahri here, it's certainly interesting to see the Toa Inika coming back with another form, just like the Toa Mata came back as the Toa Nuva, and the Toa Matoro came back as the Toa Herdika, and now the Toa Inika came back as the Toa Mahri. And of course, they now have a Toa form in which they are named after a city, just like the Toa Mata were named after Matanui, and the Toa Matoro were named after Metronui. Now the Toa Mahri are named after Marinui. So that is pretty much all I have to say regarding the Toa Mahri. They certainly were very interesting sets. A bit getting used to the idea that they just changed the appearances of how Toa should look, as far as having an entirely different look among each of them compared to how they previously mostly all looked the same. I mean, I know that Toa have looked differently among one another before. The Toa Mata certainly did, and the same goes for the Toa Nuva, and the Toa Matoro also had a few differences among them. But, you know, this is the most different that any Toa team released up to this point has ever been. So, this video has pretty much run for quite a long time, and I guess it could be because there was just a lot to talk about regarding these guys. So what do you think? Do you like the Toa Mahri, or do you not like them? Was there something you think that could have been done better regarding these guys? Do you think that it was a very smart idea for them to have Matoro be killed off? Or do you think that there could have been a way for Matoro to save Matanui without sacrificing himself? Let me know what you think, and I will see you again next time. Hello? Hello? Anybody? I've been stuck in the pit for 10 years and I finally managed to get out. Guys, I went into the pit The Mask of Life! I saved Matanui! And no one's here to congratulate me? Well, I guess it's been 10 years. I suppose everyone's forgotten about that now. Wait, what's that land over there? Looks nice. I think I'll go over to it and see how everyone's doing.